Welcome to Mindset. I'm Suzette Buchanan, the program where we explore the many facets of mental health. Mental illness is not just about the person who is sick. It's about the people who stand beside them, the parents, the siblings, the partners, and the friends. On Mindset, we talk through the stigma, the trauma, and the weight of it all. Every episode explores a real issue affecting Jamaicans, from postpartum depression to deportation trauma to the silent stress that caregivers face. We bring you real voices, dramatic scenes, expert advice, and what we hear every week on the streets of Jamaica. This program is here to open our eyes, open our hearts, and offer help. Today we focus on a reality too often ignored: caregiver burnout. When someone in your family is mentally ill, your life changes too. Our guest today, Beverly McDermott, a farmer and a vector control aide, has been walking this road for 19 years. Her son became mentally ill in his late teens. Since then, she and her family have experienced fear, heartbreak, exhaustion, and emotional strain. Beverly is here to share her truth, and her story may sound familiar to many of you watching. This is Mindset. Let's begin.
Me can't brother. It's all you again.
If I right to remember who this, Kevin get the whole of your money, you know. And what me get? Nothing. Everybody gone, and who left here? Me, like a big idiot. If I cook, I'm me. Go a shop, I'm me. You want to walk, I'm me. If you wash, I'm me. Wash. And it's not even like say, me expect for the pan no will either. Just to be willing. You know how much white girl want marry me off? But when they see me, come take a pill. Me done. Lord. Alright, Granny, I'm gonna read your favorite daily.
Me nah go put no play in your ear.
Calm down, no, Granny.
Beverly, thank you so much for joining us. How many children do you have?
I have 4 children.
4 children.
Yeah.
All right. Where on the family tree does Renor fall?
He's the first of 4.
Is the first of 4
Yeah.
children. All right. When did you start to see some difference in Renor's action?
Well, at the age of 19 years, he was working with a construction company. And he just walked off the job stating that man a pre him. When he left the job, the supervisor says that he works very well, and whenever probably he might be tired. And whenever he's ready to come back, his space is there. But 2 weeks after that, he came to my house and was asking me for some money, but I told him that I didn't have any money. I have 2 crates of bottles and I give him to sell. The next day he came back and was saying to me, he said, where do I get the bottle from? And I asked him why said that to me. And he was saying, say, every walk him walk, the 2 crate of bottle, I walk with him.
What were your thoughts hearing your son? Because you've never seen him or heard him like this before.
No.
Mm-hmm.
When I heard him say what he said, I was saying he probably might smoke some ganja.
Mm-hmm.
And he might be talking some little foolishness.
Yes.
I didn't take it that serious, like it is a mental sickness.
When did you take it seriously? When did you realize something was really wrong?
Well, I realized when he came to visit me, the features of his face changes and his reaction never looking very good. When he came in talking, he was aggressive. He searched my house. Sometimes when he came, we just leave the house. So he searched the house, take out my money, and so on. And when he got the money, he come back the next day, give me a problem, take out my companion set, put it on the veranda, take red label wine, burst it, wet up the whole veranda with it, and so on. So he keep on and on with his problem, giving me a lot of problems. So I called the police. So the police held him and take him to the Spanish Town station because he was saying that I hope me obey him.
Oh.
And anytime I went to the Point Hill station before they take him to the Spanish Town station, I have to hide because him start cussing in the cell when him see me and I say, see the Delilah there.
So you were a trigger for him?
Yes.
Okay.
He says, see the Delilah there. See the Delilah, they were thief me red shot and carry up your man. So whenever I carry food up to the station, I have to hide and give it to the police and then bring it to give him.
So before, according to Renor, before you became the Delilah based on whatever was happening with him at that point, who was Renor before he was diagnosed with a mental health condition? Growing up, what kind
Renor,
of
my
stuff
first son, whenever he works, I'm the first person him come to and say, hey, see something here, go buy something to eat. And all of a sudden, I was not good for him anymore since he became sick.
Was he evaluated when he was incarcerated?
When I went to court, I asked the judge to grant a psychiatric evaluation because he wasn't acting himself. He wasn't acting right, so I asked the judge to grant him.
And what did that evaluation reveal?
They said that he was suffering from ganja psychosis, so he was mentally sick.
Miss Bev, he was incarcerated, he was released. Yes. Take me through those moments after release.
After he was released, he did have a problem with my mother. That his grandmother that he's living with. And one day he went inside the house and used a broomstick and beat my 75-year-old mother. And when he went to the court, he told the judge that she was living too long and he should be walking on my mother's grave.
I'm sorry to hear that. And what happened after that? Was he locked up by the police?
He was locked up by the police and went to court, and the judge gave him 9 months, 1 year in prison.
How often does Renor have episodes?
Very often. Very often, till they have to put him on a 2-week medication.
How did you care for him during the period that he wasn't locked up?
Well,
how difficult?
It was hard. Hard knowing that after his sickness, I was diagnosed with diabetes and high blood pressure. I know that it was hard because I have to work and to support him. Because whenever he gets any work, he said that he's sick with his nerves and can't work. So it was hard for me to work and support him.
How is the community and family members responding or reacting to his illness?
Well, the community now, he gives a lot of trouble inside the community.
When you say a lot of trouble, delve more.
Like say, he spit on people. Sometimes they scare them. Sometimes the young people, them scare them when in the on the road.
How is Renor now, today? How is he doing?
It's very difficult. It's hard. Right now, he's at the Kingston Public Hospital.
Sorry to hear that.
He's at the Kingston Public Hospital because everything just going down. Just going down. He's not coping good.
I'm sorry to hear that. 6 times in and out of lockup. Still no peace. We'll be right back. This is Mindset.
Mindset is brought to you by Yadman Gas, Jack Den Medical Services, GPS to Beauty MediSpa, Ministry of Health and Wellness, McKay Security, Gibbo Trading, AC Marriott Hotel, TWP Attorneys, and Virtue Artistry.
Welcome back. Here on Mindset, we take the conversations to the streets and hear from you.
Caregivers carry others, but who carries them? Follow me and let's find out.
You know, whilst taking care of the person, it can have a toll on me as well. And me myself might need someone to even care for me mentally in that, you know, in that issue.
Anybody who is given the task of taking care of somebody, the effect that those actions would have on them is that they'll feel sometimes as if they're neglecting themselves, or they'll probably feel as if they're not doing their best to take care of whoever they're taking care of. So it could become taxing on the mind.
Sickness alone that the person have takes a hold on your body, and sometimes even when you're taking care of that person, your body itself can be going down and you can get sick, and sometimes you even die leaving that person behind who you're taking care of. So I think it does.
It could also cause them to feel like their whole world is centered around whoever they're taking care of. So that could also affect them mentally too.
On Mindset, we don't only hear stories, we listen to the impact. As you've seen, caring for someone with mental illness can consume you entirely. Beverly, your story is both heartbreaking and brave. Beverly, I know that living with a mental health condition not just affects you as a parent, but it also affects those who are around you. How did this affect your relationship? Are you with his father? Talk to me about that.
One of my daughter, she's living overseas. And even now, if her phone rings, she got panic attack just because of the problem that she went through with her brother. And right now, the fiancé now is very scared of him. As him wake up in the morning, not even can get to eat, I have to just pack his breakfast and him leave the house. When he come back late at night, because of the attitude of Renor, threatening him to mash up the vehicle. Right now he has a van and a car, and he has to leave one at somebody's house. He cannot leave it inside the yard. Because every day him say, he go mash up the vehicle, he go mash up the house, he go mash up things. Him down to take up iron. I may see him through the window with iron, put it behind somewhere and hide and say, as a man come in, him go knock him out and kill him.
You did mention earlier that Renor is hospitalized. What are you going to do once he's discharged? What are your plans?
It's very rough. It's very rough. Because it's very rough. I don't know. It's very hard on me. It's very hard on me.
What would you say has been the hardest part of the 19 years?
The hardest part of the 19 years is just threatening, flinging big stone at people. Because it's just about 3 weeks ago, there's a gentleman came to my house full of blood. So he was at the square and Renor was at the square and him and Renor catch up. And Renor fling big stone and bust up in head. So the hardest part is to hear my phone ring. If you know, say probably people might have say, him kill somebody or somebody kill him. It's difficult to, when Mrs. Strange number calling my phone. It's very rough. Panic attack, nervous breakdown when me hear the phone ring.
Speaking of nervous breakdown, Miss Bev, you have done everything to help Renor. What have you done to help yourself?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. Nothing.
Has this affected your livelihood in any way?
Yes.
Tell me more about that.
I just can't do as much work, you know, so the vector control aid. Sometimes I have to have people to help me with the farming. I cannot do it myself, which I used to do it myself. And sometimes going out on the road, dizziness take me on the road. They have to just get car and carry me in because of the stress and the pressure and the high blood pressure with the sun. It's very rough.
What would you say to another mother that is going through this situation?
I just want to tell them that going through with a mental health son, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's very rough. It's rough, not easy.
Do you fear him dying?
Sometimes when the phone rings, it gives me a panic attack because I don't want to hear either. You can just check the district and they will tell you how much I treat him, how much I take care of him.
I know because he's living with a mental health condition, it is difficult to show him love the way you'd want to. How do you find creative ways at this point to show him love and make him feel love? Because that's important.
I don't let him hungry. I give him clothes. I order him to wash his clothes whenever. I try to tell him to have him to bathe.
I must commend you. It is a difficult road. It is indeed a difficult road. And I lift my hat to you because it's a journey that is extremely difficult. And the fact that you're sticking to it. Persons who are living with a mental health condition requires the social support is key in their recovery and rehabilitation. This is Mindset. We'll be right back with our resident psychiatrist, Dr. Roger Roberts.
Mindset is brought to you by Yadman Gas, Jack Den Medical Services, GPS to Beauty Medispa, Ministry of Health and Wellness, McKay Security, Gibbo Trading, AC Marriott Hotel, TWP Attorneys, and Virtue Artistry.
Welcome back. Each week on Mindset, we're joined by our resident psychiatrist, Dr. Roger Roberts. Caregiver burnout is a silent epidemic. When we talk about mental illness, we must also talk about the people who are holding it all together behind closed doors. Dr. Roberts, you've heard Beverly's story. What happens when caregivers are stretched beyond their limits?
I think Beverly's story is quite touching, and it underscores some really important pointers that I would like to discuss actually. You asked about when they're stretched beyond their limits. There are a number of factors to consider. In her case, we're talking about a long-term disability. She's caring for someone with a long-term mental disability. That factors in. Clearly, if you're going to be a caregiver for someone with a short-term disability versus long-term, the person who's going to care for the person with a long-term disability is likely to experience significant stress or chronic stress. It's not uncommon for caregivers to develop anxiety, and I heard Beverly describe some anxiety symptoms like the panic attacks, as well as depression. And studies consistently show that caregivers have higher rates of anxiety and depression when compared to non-caregivers. I would suggest to her to have an assessment done just to see where she's at, where anxiety and depression is concerned. And the reason for that suggestion is that both anxiety and depression, they're quite treatable. And a lot of times individuals suffer in silence for conditions that are treatable. When we think about caregiver burnout, and stress and the anxiety that comes with it, I think we should look at prevention, which is really important. It starts with the caregiver taking care of themselves. Some of the basic things that they should ensure is that they're eating properly, able to get good rest, exercise, and they should be very realistic about what they can do. Sometimes the caregivers they think that they can save somebody, and they're doing way more than they are able to do, which only add to their deterioration in their mental health. So be realistic as to what you can do. And I would say to the caregivers, know when to ask for support. Sometimes, for various reasons, a caregiver may feel like they can be the only person to provide the care that the individual needs. And this may not necessarily be the case. If you're consistently in the carer's role, it's going to take a toll on you mentally, right? So you should know when to ask for support. And I would say to the family members and friends of those who are in a caregiving role, oftentimes in our culture, people will call on the phone and say, do this, do that. I would encourage people to facilitate respite care, where they just come in, support the caregiver for a day, take over some of the activity so that the caregiver can take a break. Because I'm not sure if there's anybody else in the fight with Miss Bev, and that may be part of the reason why there's so much distress. So family members and friends, help out, give the caregiver a break so that they can recuperate to be even better caregivers. So on the point of support, at Bellevue Hospital, our social workers and psychologists may offer support to patients and the caregiver upon discharge, during the admission process and upon discharge. The support doesn't have to be through a public facility. I mean, there are private entities, psychologists, counselors, psychologists. Sometimes it doesn't have to be organized in a clinical way. It could be a support group at a church or some other entity, but it's just about reaching out and getting into spaces where you can get that support.
Thank you. What we heard today was not just a story about mental illness. It was a story about love, exhaustion, sacrifice, and the desperate need for support. Beverly, thank you. Thank you for your strength, your honesty, and for reminding us that caregivers deserve care too. These stories matter. These lives matter, and you matter. I am Suzette Buchanan, and this is Mindset. Thank you for watching.
Each week on Mindset, we share the voices of the forgotten residents of Bellevue Hospital, ready to return to society, but left behind by their families. Hear their stories only on Mindset.
Before I came to Bellevue, we were living very happy. I have some of them live in the States and some live in Jamaica. My father was the only one working to support us so that we can get more money from parents, from my mother, and then now we pay light bill and water it and send us to school. I have 5 sisters, Julie, Chrissy, Tessa, Nancy, Raquel, and me make Joan. 6 girls, Ginger, Paki, Paps, 3 brothers. The one them from States visit us on holidays. Sometimes when them come, them carry to beaches. My baby father and my son came here the other day, and they said they are going to buy a piece of land and build a big house on it for me. The encouragement that I would like to give to them is just for them to stay sweet, stay nice, and keep cool.
Set decor was provided by Elite Home Decor and shot on location at the AC Marriott Hotel.